Hello out there. This is Joe Henry, and you are listening to the 365th broadcast of The Stunted Sun. I suppose if we were still keeping the old calendars with any sense of ceremony, I would be wishing you a happy anniversary. But there is nothing particularly happy about the milestone we have reached today. It has been exactly 1 year since the sky broke, and as I look out the reinforced glass of this studio's observation slit, I can tell you that the sky is still broken. Only now it feels like it was always meant to be this way. We have reached a state of permanent, stagnant twilight. It is 12 o'clock noon in the Midwest, and yet the world outside is bathed in that sickly bruised crimson that used to be reserved for the final 5 minutes of a winter sunset. I remember when the sun used to be yellow. I remember when it was so bright you couldn't even look at it for a second without your eyes watering. Now you can stare right at it. It's just a dull copper coin hanging in a thick sea of rust. The terraforming units, those massive three-legged spires they dropped into the salt flats and the mountain ranges, have been humming for 12 months straight. You can feel it in your teeth right now, can't you? That low-frequency vibration that never stops. That is the sound of our atmosphere being scrubbed. That is the sound of the nitrogen being stripped away and replaced with something heavier, something that catches the red spectrum of light and holds onto it like a wet blanket. They call it atmospheric stabilization in the leaflets they used to drop from the black lighters. Stabilization. As if the world we had for 10,000 years was somehow volatile or unfinished. I walked outside this morning just for a moment to clear my head before the broadcast. The air doesn't smell like rain or cut grass anymore. It smells like a welder's shop. It's metallic, sharp, and cold. Even though the sky looks like it's on fire, there is no heat in that red light. It's a ghost of a sun. The plants know it too. Have you looked at your gardens lately? If you're lucky enough to have anything left alive, you'll notice the leaves aren't green anymore. They're turning a deep, oily purple, almost black. They are trying to catch whatever strange radiation is coming through that crimson haze. Everything is adapting or it's dying. And let's be honest, most of it is dying. I received a report on the shortwave this morning from a group out in what used to be called Sector 7. They say the Great Lakes are starting to thicken. The water isn't evaporating, it's being converted. It's becoming denser, more like syrup than water, reflecting that perpetual red sky like a mirror of blood. They say they haven't seen a bird in 3 months. Not even a crow. The sky is too heavy for them now. The air is too thick. We are living at the bottom of a deep, dark ocean of gas that wasn't made for us. We are the intruders now, scuttling around the basements of our own cities while the architects, or whatever you choose to call them this week, continue their work in the clouds. Do you remember shadows? I spent an hour today trying to find a sharp shadow. I couldn't do it. The light is so diffused by the terraforming particulates that there are no edges anymore. Everything is just a soft, blurry gray fading into a deep burgundy. It does something to your mind, losing the contrast. It makes the world feel like a dream you can't wake up from. It makes every day feel like the same long, exhausting hour. People are losing their sense of time. I've heard of communities in the subways that have stopped using clocks altogether. They just sleep when they're tired and eat when they're hungry. Though with the ration cycles being what they are, hunger is usually the only clock anyone needs. I want to talk for a moment about the silence. A year ago, the world was loud. There were sirens, screams, the roar of those initial descent engines, and the crashing of the old towers. But now the silence is heavy. It's not a peaceful silence. It's the silence of a tomb that's still being dug. The only thing that breaks it is the hum of the spires and the occasional drone of a harvester passing overhead. I haven't heard a human voice in person for 3 days. I have this microphone, and I have the knowledge that some of you are listening on your crank radios, huddled under wool blankets in the dark. But sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to the dust. The dust is everywhere now. It's red, fine as flour, and it tastes like copper. It gets into the electronics, into the food, into your lungs. We're all coughing up the new world bit by bit. I saw a news bulletin. Well, a handwritten note pinned to the commissary door, saying that the resistance in the north had managed to topple one of the atmospheric scrubbers. They said for 3 hours the red haze cleared over a small patch of forest, and for 3 hours the people there saw the stars. They said the stars looked different, more distant. I don't know if I believe it. It sounds like a fairy tale we tell ourselves to keep from walking out into the red and just lying down. But imagine that. Imagine seeing a star. Imagine seeing something that isn't filtered through their machines. The decay is slow, isn't it? That's what nobody told us. We all thought it would be an explosion. A quick end, but it's just a long, slow fading. The buildings are still standing, but they're bleeding rust. The roads are still there, but the cracks are filled with that new pulsing moss that glows faint orange when the wind hits it. We are watching the Earth become an alien planet in real time. We are the last witnesses of a world that is being overwritten like a used cassette tape. I sometimes wonder if they even know we're here. Do you think the architects see us as a threat? Or are we just the ants that were already in the house when they bought it? They're just spraying the perimeter, changing the locks, and waiting for the previous tenants to starve out. I miss the blue. God, I miss the blue. I would give everything I have, which granted is just a box of dry crackers and a functional shortwave radio, just to see a clear Tuesday morning in June. I miss the way the sun used to feel on the back of your neck. Not this stinging dry chill we have now, but real heat. The kind of heat that made you want to jump into a pool of cool, clear water. Now if you jumped into the water, you'd probably never come back up. It's too thick, too strange. To those of you in the shelters near the coast, I've heard the rumors about the tides. They say the moon doesn't pull the water anymore. They say the terraforming has changed the gravity or the density of the sea to the point where the waves have just stopped. The ocean is just a flat, red sheet of glass now. If that's true, then we really are further along in the process than the broadcasts are letting on. It means the Earth we knew isn't just being modified, it's being replaced. But we're still here. That has to count for something. 1 year later, and Joe Henry is still sitting in this basement, and you are still out there listening. We are the stubborn remnants of a golden age. We are the echoes in the hallway. I don't have any music to play for you today. The library was lost when the pipes burst in the winter, and all the vinyl warped under the heat of the first terraforming wave. So you just have my voice, and the hum. Always the hum. Try to find something today that reminds you of how things were. A photograph, a piece of fabric, a memory. Hold on to it tight, because the red is getting darker. The scrubbers are working overtime. By this time next year, I don't know if we'll even call it a sun anymore. It'll just be the eye, a dull, lidless eye watching us fade away. This is Joe Henry, signing off for the noon hour. Stay in the shadows, though I suppose there aren't many left. Keep your filters clean, and don't look too long at the sky. It doesn't belong to us anymore. Good night, or good morning, or whatever this is. Just stay here.